Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is my Pumptini mini recap of Vanderpump Rules Season 10, Episode 5, Lovestruck at the Discopussy. This week opens with Ariana and Raquel. Just besties. What could go wrong with these two? It's a friendship that'll last forever. They're shopping for bathing suits for the big girls trip to Vegas and then Lake Havasu. I swear to God, watching this stuff now that we know what we know, it's kind of unbelievable. Ariana right now says to Raquel, I can't believe what you told Katie last night about asking Schwartz to make out. Raquel. And then Ariana says, I was like, am I mad at Raquel for the first time ever? Like, don't these comments kill you guys knowing what's to come? Okay, so Scheana and Brock, their wedding is in a few weeks. You guys, I thought they were already married, but apparently at the time of filming here, the wedding is a few weeks away. And Raquel tells Ariana that she told Scheana about the girls' trip because, you know, of course she did. And Scheana was like, that's fine. Then we see a scene with Scheana FaceTiming Lala. And Lala's like, did you hear about the girls' trip? And she goes, Katie's trip? Yeah. Raquel told me about it. And she also said that she's not going to the wedding. So that's fine. I took her off the list today. Meanwhile, Katie is hiking with Charli. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's just like, I know what these mean girls were like, right? The witches of WeHo, Katie, Stassi, and Kristen, they were exclusionary. They were like above all the others, all the like Scheanas and the newbies and stuff like that. You know, they wouldn't let him in like at the core group of girls. And now Katie has no one left. Katie has resorted to filming with Charli. It's just funny. I kind of wish they would bring Stassi and Kristen back. I really want to know their opinions about this. I know that actually Kristen, I think I heard, does film with Ariana, which is so weird when you think about it. Because you know what they say, you lose your man the way you got your man. But Tom Sandoval was Kristen Doute's boyfriend when he cheated on her with Ariana. It's just that it's so many years ago. Like they've been together 9 years now. I don't know. I don't know why it felt acceptable. Partly because Kristen Doute, she cheated on Sandoval too. So that always just kind of felt fair. And also because Sandoval and Ariana, you know, say what you will, it wasn't the best relationship, but they kind of got each other. I did think that, you know, they worked together, unlike Katie and Schwartz, who I don't think worked together. Whatever, moving on. Katie invites Charli to the girls' trip too. And she's like, oh, I have an audition, but I can come after that. So she's like maybe going to miss the first day or something. Anyway, Charli says, so who all did you invite? Like everyone except Scheana? And Katie's like, And Charli goes, you're going to let Raquel go? Yeah, she is. Because in Katie's world, Raquel is dumb, not evil. And Scheana is evil. You know, she blames Scheana for being the puppet master. Well, Raquel just doesn't have a brain in her head. So you can't make her responsible for what she does. Not only is she giving Scheana too much credit, she's not giving Raquel enough. I'm just going to say, now that we know what we know, Raquel's not some little innocent. Next, we're at Villa Rosa, and we see Lisa and Ken playing with their grandson. He's adorable. And Lisa talks to Ken about, you know, the fiasco that is Schwartz and Sandy's. She tells him that she's really worried about the Toms, and Ken, as it turns out, is just as soft-hearted as Lisa, and he's like, well, let's go there and see what we can do for the boys, you know, let's at least go there. She's like, okay, I don't know what we can do because, you know, Greg is their partner, and he has experience in restaurant management, so, you know, we really shouldn't go in there and, you know, Lisa doesn't want to step on anybody's toes. This will be interesting to play back for Greg. All this plotting. Next, we have a super awkward lunch with James and Allie and James's mom. Well, she's an odd one anyway. Like, I'm not super crazy about her. In fact, Lisa was more of a mother to James than this one was. However, she is sober, and she's been sober for like 3 years now. And she's still sober, unlike her son. So, I give her props for that. She's weird about, obviously she doesn't like Raquel and blames her for, leaving James and all that. I also think she might be one of those moms that doesn't think her own child did anything wrong or ever does anything wrong. I mean, I could be reading into it, but she has this weird, there's this weird conversation about, I'm not even sure if I followed it right. She said, well, and you know what? I love that you met organically, she says to Allie, that you and James met organically. And Allie's like, yeah, me too. Allie doesn't know what that means. That's beside the point. She's like, I mean, a family member didn't drag you to Pump to meet the DJ. And Allie goes, oh, is that how they met? I guess she's saying that's how Raquel met James. I don't even remember how Raquel came onto the scene, actually. But none of that matters, because what happens next is Allie is in her confessional, and the producer says to her, so how did you meet James? And this is what she says. My friend Eric dragged me to Agora Hills for James's show. And the rest is history. What? I'm sorry. So what I'm hearing is she met James exactly the same way that Raquel met James. And somehow James's mom thinks that this is an organic way to meet him, but Raquel's was not. Well, I guess it wasn't a family member. It was a friend, so. Ellie also happens to say that when she met James, he was sober, and that was almost her most favorite thing about him. This is not boding well for their future. About a month after they were dating, James told her that on his birthday, he had a drink for the first time in 2.5 years, and the rest is history. What's happening right now is that James's mom is talking a lot about his sobriety, or lack thereof, and that he's an adult, he's not a teenager, so she's not going to tell him what to do, but also it's a slippery slope and she wants him to be careful and all this stuff. Of course people around him are nervous. He was out of control when he was drinking, and he clearly didn't have a handle on it. He stopped for 2.5 years. It would kill you as a mom, or just as anybody that cares about him, that he has started drinking again, and now, I don't know, somehow feels like he can handle it when he couldn't before. Listen, all I'm going to tell you right now is that James he's a little bit too agitated by this conversation. He's talking too much. He's eating too much. It feels like addict behavior. It's scary. All right, so we're at Schwartz and Sandy's, and Greg is not there, but the Toms are there, and Lisa and Ken on their way out to dinner, and they just stop in for a chat. And what they tell the boys is this is the plan they came up with, if they needed, and that's not what they want, but if the Toms wanted, they could have their investment money back, the money they invested in Tom Tom, which I believe was $50,000 each for 5% each stake in the company. And they will allow them to buy back into TomTom if they want within a year. So this is just so that they are liquid enough to maybe like buy out Greg if they want. Schwartz thinks that's very generous of them. Sandoval, in his confessional is like, I think that's a bit unfair since we put in what I consider to be sweat equity for 4 years into TomTom to just get back the initial investment. I don't, listen, Tom Sandoval lives on another planet where things are handed to him, apparently. I'm sorry, you lent your name to TomTom. The fact that she let you buy 5% for $50,000, I think was generous. And the fact that you showed up every once in a while, created some cocktails maybe, hung around like as a personality. I'm just not sure how much sweat was involved in that sweat equity. But regardless, I also don't think this was quite as generous as I thought they were going to be. I don't know. Somehow I guess I thought they were going to be investors with them. Although, to be fair, Lisa did say earlier, I don't want 30% of a company that they run, and it's not my decor, it's not my thing. Like, she doesn't really want to be a silent investor. That's not her style. So I guess maybe this was a compromise they came up with. I don't know. She and Ken were like, listen, you don't have to do it. We just wanted you to know this is an option out there for you if you get in a position where you need to. Okay, Christina Kelly is over at Katie's. Katie's packing for the Vegas trip, and she tells Christina about Raquel's confession. Christina Kelly's like, what? And then Katie tells her again, Katie's theory that, I don't know, basically Katie doesn't think you can be mad at a dumb person or something like that. And then Katie goes, she took responsibility for it. So what? Why did she do it in the first place? That's what I would want to know. Katie just blames Scheana for planting the seed in her head, and Raquel agreed. Well, yeah, Scheana did give me the idea, and then I was like, I do like him a lot. She's not a girl's girl. In the next scene, Lala goes over to Raquel's apartment. You guys, how did these two get so close? Crazy. Lala is being so vulnerable in this scene. It's unsettling, almost. She's just kind of like, how did I get to this point in my life? I'm 31 years old. I have a baby girl, which is the love of my life. But, she's just trying to figure out how things went so off the rails in her life. I guess Randall made a comment to her assistant saying, Lala used to be so kinky and fun and sexy, and then she got sober. You disgusting little troll. He's gross. You know what? Raquel should get with Rand. Perfect. Problem solved. All right, it is time for the girls' trip, and they land in Vegas. And of course, they're staying at Paris, Las Vegas as guests of Lisa Vanderpump. They're staying in the Vanderpump suites or whatever. And then that evening, they go to, what is it called? Vanderpump à Paris or something? Lisa's restaurant in the hotel. But not long after they check in, Lala is like, is somebody crying? And Ariana is on the phone. Her dog, Charlotte, who had a seizure before she left, and she had medicine and everything. Like, she knew about that, but I guess it's gotten worse and they can't control them. So she's not going to make it. So Ariana has to go right back home again. I feel so bad, but you know what? She had mentioned this in a scene earlier. Her dog, Charlotte, was 18 years old. So she had a good life. It's just, I think about my little Olive. At the end of this month, Olive is going to be 15. And I'm going to be a mess, you guys. I can't think about it. Anyway, this scene is tough. But the rest of the girls go down to the restaurant. And lo and behold, who is their waiter but Oliver, Garcelle Beauvais' son. If you guys watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you know Garcelle Beauvais is one of the housewives. And I think it was just the past season, but maybe it was the year before. Garcelle had told the ladies that her son got a job with Lisa Vanderpump. Yeah, didn't go over real well with Kyle and them, but so yeah, he's their server, and almost immediately Lala and Raquel are very interested in him. Lala thinks he's married and has kids though, but Lisa said, no, I think he's separated, which is interesting because he wasn't separated when he was on Housewives of Beverly Hills, so that must be fairly recent. So that's kind of sad. All right, so while they're eating, I should also say that Katie's mom has joined them for dinner because Katie's mom has been living in Vegas for 10 or 12 years now. So, so she's invited her to join them. Lisa is at the table too. Did I even mention that? Yeah, she's there too. And so she brings up the sandwich shop to Katie and she's like, how's it going with that? She asks her if she found a place and Katie's like, not yet. And apparently Lisa has found a place. It is 5 doors down from Sir, and they've got a kitchen that's got a patio, and she said the rent is $8,000 a month. So Katie's like, oh, I think I'm going to really have to look into that. Yeah, of course, because if Lisa Vanderpump found it for you, you know that it's probably good, and Lisa's got her fingers in every single pie. These are truly like her children. Anyway, the conversation turns to Schwartz and, Raquel. I guess Lisa didn't know this part. And maybe Katie's mom didn't know either. And Raquel's like, I did ask him if he wanted to make out. Again, I think Katie was saying, Scheana pushed her. And even Lisa's like, oh, come on. You need to take some responsibility for that. And she's like, I did. I said I was sorry. But the best part of this was Katie's mom. And she's sitting right next to Raquel. She kind of gave her an earful about how, Katie might not always show it, but she is in pain. I see the side of her where she's crying, and they're not even divorced yet. They've barely moved out of the house. And then she starts crying. Katie's mom. And she's like, it's hard for all of us. Tommy's been family. Like Katie said, they were together for 12 years. They were married for 5, but he's been part of their family for a long time. So hopefully that gave Raquel a little bit of guilt. Probably not. Who knows? At this point, she may have already moved on to Sandoval. Well, anyway, enough of dinner. We are off to Discopussy for drinks and dancing. And guess what? Oliver has taken them up on their offer to join them there. And some other randos from the restaurant, I guess. I don't know who the other guys were. So he is talking to Lala and Raquel. And Lala asks him if he's married, and he said, no, I'm separated. Then Lala, buzzkill Lala, starts to talk about her tumultuous divorce and, she's going through a custody battle and stuff. It's like, oh my God, you're hanging out with a guy in a disco. Just dance and have fun, Lala. I don't think Lala remembers how to have fun. Anyway, that may have contributed to his ultimate choice, but at one point Lala and Raquel are talking, and Raquel is like, if he's interested in you, I don't want to take him from you. If he's interested in Lala, then how are you going to take him from her? Lala's like, listen, I feel like you're asking me permission to go for him. Like, you're overthinking this. So anyway, at the end of the night, I guess Raquel is the big winner, and obviously, Oliver is the big loser. But Lala says she doesn't care. Even Katie gave some guy with a mustache and tattoos her phone number. So I guess they had a good night. Anyway, that is where episode 5 ends. Thank you guys for being here with me. If you liked this recap, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. Also, please consider clicking on that bell icon if you would like to be notified every time I post something new. That's it for me. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.